everyone, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. I'll just start off by saying that if I look a little rosy, you know, don't be surprised. It's a wee bit chilly down here in Georgia, and because of the fact that I have a barn, even if it is 11 or 10 degrees, I still have to go outside and take care of all my horses. So I have basically spent most of the morning outside in the cold. So I might look a little redder than normal. I'm a little bit late to this, but a couple weeks back, of course, everyone knows, Big Twist ended up releasing a new yarn, which is called Posh. I've seen quite a few people use Posh, and I was meaning to go get some a lot earlier. I honestly just did not have time. I did not leave my house to go to Joann's. It is what it is. With this crazy weather we've been having with it being so cold, and we've also been having a lot of rain. It literally rained for a good deal. We had 7 inches of rain, and then it's gotten so cold. So it's been hard for me to ride because I'm I can't ride when it's super wet, and I can't ride when it's cold and the ring's frozen and it's hard on the horses. Yesterday I had a little bit more time to actually go to Joann's, and I did, and I was shocked they had a vast majority of the Posh yarn in store. I didn't get any of the really crazy colors, I would say. I just ended up picking up some basic colors like the light blue, which I thought was very pretty, the green, there was a mint almost, the browns, and then kind of the sandy color, whatnot, just because I knew that something I could use with that yarn. I didn't want to there was a hot pink and everything, and I was man, I don't really see a hot pink neon almost, but I knew at the end of the day I personally will never really use that color unless I got asked to use it. So I didn't pick it up, but I did pick up the green. And like I said, I know I'm late. Everyone's already talked about this yarn. Everyone's already given their opinions. But if you're new to this channel, then you might not know I would say, very particular about yarn. I think I can complain about every yarn, and I think I have some really strong opinions about certain yarn. I've said this so many times, I really hate Bernat blanket. I am a #1 hater of Bernat blanket. I honestly try and avoid crocheting with Bernat blanket at all costs unless I really have to, and then the whole time I just complain about it, and it makes me hurt so bad. It makes my arms hurt, and then I usually end up throwing things and having a few choice words to say because I don't like Bernat. I primarily crochet in Sweet Snuggles Lite. I am spoiled that I'm in a place where there's a ton of Michaels and everything, and for the most part they have enough color choices. I really wish that Sweet Snuggles Lite would get a red and an orange and a nicer brown. Then I probably wouldn't even have to branch out that much to other brands, but because they don't have that, I do use Premier Parfait Chunky on occasion, and only if I have to with certain colors. When I saw the Posh, I was okay, it's another yarn. People were comparing it to a mix between Premier Parfait and Bernat. Immediately I was Bernat. I decided I would give it a whirl, give it a shot, but I'm gonna also show you guys because I've already crocheted something in the Posh, and what I ended up doing is I crocheted the same thing in Sweet Snuggles Lite, Bernat blanket, and the Posh. Because I've seen quite a few videos of people who have given their opinions in Posh and whatnot, but then they haven't compared it with a picture or anything to Sweet Snuggles, Bernat, all those type of things. So I think it can be a little bit difficult to get the size comparison just off of what someone is saying, or if they make it and don't show you against everything else. So this is the green I ended up using. I'm not even certain what they call it. Bok choy, I think is what this is called, if I'm reading this correctly. So I originally thought when I went to the store, just given how many people I've seen compare this to Parfait, I thought this was going to be a weight 6 yarn because that's what Parfait is, but it is actually a 5. I can 100% say Parfait needs to be this weight. When I pulled it out and I compared it to the Parfait that I had on my table, Parfait is not that different in size. It could maybe be, I guess if someone wanted to argue, maybe the slightest bit fluffier, but I actually don't think that has anything to do with the actual size of the yarn. I just think it's hard to compare the two different materials because Posh is definitely more similar to a Bernat material, except it's not as thick. It doesn't have that fuzziness like Sweet Snuggles Lite would or Parfait Chunky, which is another reason why I don't think it sheds as much as like Sweet Snuggles Lite or Parfait. I definitely think if this is a size 5, Premier needs to be a size 5. And I've always said that because after all the things that I have crocheted in a size 6 and then trying different brands that have also been size 6, Premier just seems too thin to be a size 6. So this is the one I ended up doing, but I'm actually going to show you guys the 3 things that I have crocheted all on separate things and give you guys size comparisons and whatnot so you can actually see what a difference this makes. I did the 3 leggy frogs all in a size 5 hook. I would actually say that if I were to crochet again with the Posh, and I have done a little bit of outside crocheting, personally I would probably crochet in a 4 or 4.5, but for the sake of this video I wanted to like really say like, okay, everything was made with a 5, that way you guys can really see, and I tried to keep the same loose tension. Sometimes when I get on a thinner yarn on a bigger hook, I will tighten my tension up to try and make it a little tighter so there's no holes or anything, but I try to keep the same tension that I would like on my other leggy frogs. So when you guys see this, there's definitely going to be a very noticeable size comparison. I also want to say this leggy frog is actually not 100% done. He has been sitting in my basket, so he's not tied off completely and he doesn't have a smile on a face, but for the sake of this video and just figuring out like sizes and whatnot, y'all will be able to tell the difference. So this is the little leggy froggy that I made in the Posh. I actually really do like the color. I was really excited when I did see the Posh come out because I was looking for like a very vibrant green that was not Bernat. And so when I saw the green, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect for like frogs or something. And some of the other colors I thought would also be good for some other things that I had in mind, just because they were like a little bit different color profile, but they weren't like Bernat or anything. And so I was really excited when I saw this green because it is quite a nice green. Like it is actually green. I think sometimes with like Sweet Snuggles Lite and then some of the Bernat that I have, they aren't super green, and the one color that I can or that I have done in like a true green in Bernat, it does not matter what or how many skeins of it I buy, it is absolute garbage. It is the most painful thing I have ever crocheted with, so I never touch it. I think I have like 3 or 4 different skeins of green yarn that are all the same color from Bernat, and they all feel disgusting and they are horrible to crochet with. I was really excited when I saw this green because I was like, oh my god, it's beautiful. But I'll show you guys the size comparison. Like, I'm not downplaying. I actually probably would make quite a few leggy froggies in this color, and I probably will. They are a different size, but I still think that some people will actually prefer this color over some of the other ones. So this right here is my leggy froggy that is made in Sweet Snuggles Lite. This is all the same pattern, same hook size, everything, so you guys can see. So this is the comparison from Sweet Snuggles Lite to the Posh. I would say there's like, I don't know, like what, an inch, maybe 1.5 inch size difference between the two. Same thing, you know, the legs or the arms aren't gonna be as long and whatnot just because of the smaller yarn. It's not a horrible size difference. I'm certain that like you could add more rounds or change something like that to get the size a little bit closer. But this is just what it looks like with the exact same pattern. The only difference is the yarn. Now we're gonna compare it to Bernat. I had 2 leggy froggies that I made in Bernat. One of them I would say I had a little looser tension than the other one because this is one of the colors that is much harder for me to crochet in. I have found Bernat Blanket Baby in one of their like almost light greens is doable. Still not my favorite, but I can make it happen. So you'll see that the darker green one has, I think, more length. It's taller because I had to not crochet as tight or I would have lost my mind. So this is the Posh again, and then we'll compare it to this one first. So I would say that the Bernat, there's a bigger size difference between the two, but this is also just me saying like I don't crochet very tight at all with Bernat versus Sweet Snuggles. I can keep more tension. I just can't with Bernat. So if you can crochet pretty tight, then I don't think you have a problem. Maybe getting it a little closer, but it's just not my thing. So here's the size comparison if we did the ears against each other. So I would say more with this guy. I think there's like maybe 2 inches. There's definitely more than the Sweet Snuggles. And then this is with the darker green one that I've done for the leggy frogs, and this is the same thing. This is Bernat, but like I said, I definitely had looser tension because it was way too painful for me to crochet. And so I still say like this is like probably a little bit, like 2 inches, but probably like a little bit more. I just don't have like the specifics. Evidently a size difference. All in all, you know, the Posh, it is a size 5 yarn, so it is to be expected that it's not gonna be the same as Bernat, and it's not gonna be the same as Sweet Snuggles. I don't have a Leggy Frog in Premier, but if I had to take a guess, Premier would probably work up in a similar size, just because I honestly think that the yarn is pretty similar size to Premier, so I can't foresee that there'd be like a staggering difference in size or anything. As for my thoughts on it, since everyone knows I'm the #1 biggest hater of Bernat, and I'm very particular about how yarn feels and how it works up, I would actually say that this yarn is not bad. I would 100% choose it over Bernat any day. I think it's actually a great yarn for maybe somebody starting out. Given the fact that it is pretty similar to Premier and like Sweet Snuggles Lite and everything, you know, the texture is a little bit different because it's like a mix between Premier, Parfait, and Bernat. But I honestly think if I was a beginner starting out, I would probably go for a couple of these skeins and play around with things and just see how comfortable I am, because when I went to Joann's, they were having a sale and everything on Posh actually. So I think I got like 8 or 9 skeins and they were about $5, maybe a little bit more, and then I ended up having a $50 gift card, so I didn't actually spend anything to get this yarn. That's like the first time ever. It's a very affordable yarn for somebody who wants to start out trying to make things that are a little bit more chenille based or kind of have that texture, but don't want to get into like the Sweet Snuggles Lite, because I know for some people it is very difficult to see stitches and whatnot and like Sweet Snuggles. So I definitely think this is a great yarn for somebody starting out or somebody who kind of likes this smaller size. I'm certain if you use the larger hook, you could probably get it to be a little bigger, but just for me, I prefer a smaller hook, so it's probably gonna stay this size. But all in all, I do think this is a good yarn. I mean, can it have more color choices? Yes. Can Sweet Snuggles Lite have more color choices? Yes. Like, I don't think you can really critique it on the color choices, because look at some of these other brands. I definitely would recommend it. I can definitely say without a doubt, this yarn did not give me any pain like Bernat Blanket does. So automatically, it's going up on the list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make certain to give it a like, subscribe, you know, do all that fun stuff if you want. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The cow pattern is officially on my Etsy for sale. And I'm gonna go ahead and include a couple pictures from people who have recently made the cow pattern. So if you guys end up getting the cow pattern, if you wanna leave a review on Etsy, I absolutely love reading through the reviews and everything and seeing what everyone makes. Or feel free to tag me on like Instagram or whatnot so I can see it, and then I can share it and do all that fun stuff, because I absolutely love sharing them. So the first one I'm going to share you guys, and I absolutely love this color combination. Like, I don't know why I never thought of it. It's like giving fall and it's giving like autumn vibes. Is this cow from Squirrel_and_squeaks on Instagram. So I will include a picture right here, and you guys, I'll also include the at for the Instagram below, but I couldn't figure out how to link it, so like, I'm sorry, I just include the app. But I absolutely loved the colors of this. Like, oh my gosh, guys, I am tempted to even like make it myself in this color, because like I said, it's giving autumn, it's giving like pumpkin patch. Like, I don't know, I just love it. Absolutely beautiful. And they also made my black and white cow, and I was like, oh, they were actually, I think, my first review on Etsy too, and they came out with a review like so fast after. I was shocked when I got a notification that there was like a review on Etsy. I was like, man, that was like so quick. But absolutely love their cows. And then going over to Etsy, I got a review this morning on Etsy too, and it was for somebody who had done my sky/cloud cow, and I absolutely love the colors they picked out. Like, they picked out a darker blue, and I think it just popped so good, so stinking cute. And I'm so mad I did not make my cloud cow with Chanel yarn on the clouds, because every time I keep seeing people share these cows and they all have like Chanel yarn for the clouds, I'm like, why? Why didn't I think think of that because it's so stinking pretty, guys. Absolutely love it. It looks so fluffy and so soft. I mean, I just absolutely love them. So if you're interested in my cow pattern, I will include the link for my Etsy below. And if you leave a review or if you send me pictures on Instagram, I'm gonna try every single video to include some pictures and whatnot of cows you guys made. So if your cow is not in this video, don't worry, there's plenty more videos coming and your cow should hopefully get in one of them. If not, just be like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm already in the works for a new pattern, so keep that on the lookout. Or if there's a certain animal you guys are like, oh my gosh, I really want to see you make this, then please let me know, because sometimes I need some creativity, or sometimes I have like animal ideas and I'm like, does anyone want to see like a fox? Like, I don't know, for some reason I want to make a fox or a wolf. Like, I don't know, it's just in my head, but I don't know if people would want that. I always love reading your comments and hearing your feedback because it really does help me out, like more than I can explain. Just leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts or whatever, and I'll be happy to see what I can do. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.